Boyfriend burns woman alive. Her son later murdered. It was a horrific night at a Florida gas station. The events captured by security cameras would make anyone shudder. In the footage, Naomi Breton, a mother of 3, is engulfed in fierce flames. Her terrified screams echo as she flees from the man who set her on fire, an attacker wielding a large knife in pursuit. "We have an emergency. This man has a knife, has fire," shouts rang out at the scene. It all began with what seemed like a routine meeting at a gas station. Naomi arrived according to her appointment with her ex-boyfriend Roosevelt Messier to pick up her 4-year-old son. But Roosevelt showed up with an entirely different plan. He didn't bring the son as arranged, but instead brought a can of gasoline. In those fateful moments, Roosevelt doused Naomi with gasoline. In panic, she ran into the convenience store, desperately trying to escape her attacker. But Roosevelt didn't give up. He dragged Naomi outside and set her on fire in a fit of rage. Naomi, terrified, screamed for help while trying to escape the man determined to kill her. He intended to kill Naomi that night, a witness recounted. With extraordinary effort, Naomi managed to extinguish the flames, removed her burning shirt, and ran back into the store to call for help. "He set me on fire! Hurry! Please hurry!" Naomi desperately said on the phone. "He's still outside. He has a knife. He set me on fire." Officer Patrick Monty of Boynton Beach was the first to arrive at this horrific scene. He had a plan. He executed the plan by luring her to that location, Monty recalled. Naomi's skin was scorched and blistered. She suffered 2nd and 3rd-degree burns on her head and body. She no longer had a shirt on. Most of the outer layer of skin on her entire upper body was burned off. She was clearly in extreme pain, Monty described. Miraculously, Naomi survived. Recalling the horrific incident at the scene, she said, "I remember the smell of my flesh burning. I smelled the gasoline. It was disgusting. Basically, he came, started pouring gasoline on the car, and when he threw it toward me, it splashed on my legs, splashed all over me." Roosevelt Messier fled the scene but was quickly apprehended. Naomi remained worried about her son's safety as police searched Roosevelt's home. Fortunately, they found the child sleeping soundly in bed, safe and unharmed. "It was comforting news to hear over the radio," a police officer said. During interrogation while in custody, Roosevelt never once asked about the condition of the mother of his child. When asked about his plan, whether he hoped she would die, Roosevelt gave vague answers about the child suffering and having many problems. The cause of this brutal attack was insane jealousy. He thought Naomi was seeing another man. A jury convicted Roosevelt of 1st-degree attempted murder and aggravated domestic assault. He was sentenced to life in prison. Naomi's recovery was excruciating. "I had to go to the hospital, sit in a hot tub, and basically they burned me again. Then they used a metal brush to scrape all my burns, on my face and everywhere, every burned area." Years after that brazen attack, Naomi's wounds healed. But this strong woman would face another tragedy, a pain she says was worse than the day she fought fire to save her own life. After escaping her attacker and fighting flames to survive, Naomi Breton stood outside her Florida home, physically recovered from the horrific experience, but now bearing new mental scars. Scars from losing her oldest son, which she says was even more painful than fighting the flames that day. Xavier was fun, energetic, always laughing, always in good spirits, Naomi recalled about her 20-year-old son. Photos and mementos now hang in the home, reminders of the young man who stepped up to help his mother care for the family after Naomi was burned by her ex-boyfriend. "He basically made sure the house was taken care of, picked up his siblings from school, bathed them. He really took over at every level," Naomi shared. But on February 13, 2019, the day before Valentine's Day, Xavier stopped by his mother's house. Naomi had no idea it would be his last visit. "I was in a deep sleep after work, so I didn't even know when I woke up he was here," he said. "I just came by to get a haircut, relaxing a bit," Naomi recalled. Xavier left to meet friends in West Palm Beach. Hours later, Naomi's younger son received a phone call. "Giovanni ran into my room and said, 'Mom, Xavier's been shot.' When I got to the scene, that's when the detective told us that Xavier was gone, he had passed. I broke down. I didn't care what time it was. I screamed, I cried, and I remember the female officer telling me to remember her words. She would not rest until whoever killed my son was caught." Nathaniel, Xavier's brother who was supposed to be in the car the day Naomi was burned, recalled, "I just felt shocked. I didn't know how to feel at that moment. And then I think it hit me a few days later. I was really sad." It was a heartbreaking loss for Naomi, for her sons. Losing Xavier, he was an important person in their lives, shared Olivia Hitchcock, a former Palm Beach Post reporter who covered the shooting. Like any mother, Naomi desperately wanted to know what happened to her son. "I became a real detective. I was able to find out some things, even contact the detective and provide information I knew," she recounted. The resilient mother didn't let a day go by without seeking answers. The friend who actually heard the gunshots, and he saw Xavier running and going up this road, and obviously that's where he collapsed, Naomi discovered. On what would have been Xavier's birthday, she continued searching. She just asked people, "If you know something, write it down on a piece of paper. I don't need your name, I don't need to know where it came from, but just help me figure out what happened," Hitchcock said. Then finally, the answer came from the female detective who had promised she wouldn't rest. 2 years later, I got a call, and she said, "I need to visit you. I'm on my way." And I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop crying. I knew I was going to get some news, and I didn't know if I was ready or not. In January 2021, a grand jury indicted Kevin Davis and Vicente Ortiz for first-degree murder with a firearm. The two men were charged, but Naomi still had questions as she visited the site where Xavier was killed. Not much information has been released about the circumstances surrounding the shooting, a source said. "It's been 6 years since my son's life was taken, and we still haven't gone to trial," Naomi shared. At home, Naomi and Nathaniel wait for their day in court, always with Xavier beside them. This is a charm necklace with his ashes inside, engraved "Xavier Forever Loved." "I usually wear it on me and often take it places for luck," Naomi confided. They will still need all the luck as they patiently wait for the slow wheels of justice to turn. Naomi Breton, a woman who has survived so much in her life, still remembers her final communication with her son as she drove to where he drew his last breath. "Around 11:45, I saw he had texted me. I said, 'Hey, I see you made it. Do what you need to do safely. I love you.' He said, 'I love you too.' So, at least I got an 'I love you.'" 6 years after Xavier's death, justice has still not been fully served. Naomi and her family patiently wait for the trial of those who took her son's life. Meanwhile, they find ways to live with the pain of loss and keep Xavier's memory alive in their hearts. Naomi's story is also a reminder of life's fragility and the value of final words. "I love you too." These simple words have become Naomi's most precious treasure, something she holds on to when facing unimaginable pain. As the legal process continues, Naomi Breton stands strong, an image of resilience and undying maternal love. She has gone through fire, both literally and figuratively, and continues to fight not only for herself, but for justice for her son. Her story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit in the most terrible circumstances.